to the Reconnection Club podcast, the show that helps parents heal troubled relationships with their adult sons and daughters. I'm your host, psychotherapist Tina Gilbertson. Each week, I'll offer you compassion, clarity, and personal development tips designed to help you reconnect, not only with your child, but with yourself. Now let's get started. Being estranged from your adult child or children hurts terribly. And for many parents, that's an understatement. Few people who haven't been rejected by their own children can truly know the depths of the pain that you experience, either every day or regularly, while this estrangement is going on. It's one of the most painful losses a parent can experience. And if you haven't already done so, have a listen to episode number 2, in which I talked about estrangement as an ambiguous loss that really can't be fully grieved. Anyway, there's no question that estrangement from an adult child is painful, but there's often a layer of suffering on top of that pain that doesn't need to be there. And it comes in the form of the question, how can my child do this knowing how much it hurts me? That question is a source of pain all by itself because the typical answers to it are the only ones that make sense. Either your child is cold-hearted, or selfish, or materialistic, narcissistic, easily brainwashed, mentally ill, and on and on. And none of that makes parents feel any better about their child or the fact that they're estranged. I mean, who wants to think any of those things about a child of theirs? So today I want to introduce you to a concept that will help you make sense of your child's behavior without painting either of you with an unflattering, inaccurate brush full of insults. The concept is called Hanlon's razor. Hanlon, Hanlon. You may have heard of Occam's razor, which is a problem-solving principle. Occam's razor says when you have more than one explanation for something, the simplest explanation is probably the one that's true. Hanlon's razor is a mental model for understanding other people's behavior. And in a way, it's also a problem solver because it satisfies the mystery of why good people sometimes do things that hurt other people. Hanlon's razor goes something like this. Never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by neglect. I'll say that again. Never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by neglect. Now, some people say that which can be adequately explained by stupidity, but I don't like that version. I prefer the word neglect or thoughtlessness or carelessness, something that could really happen to anybody. If somebody does something that hurts you, it's not necessarily done out of malice. Their motives are not evil or malicious. It's likely something they're doing neglectfully or thoughtlessly or carelessly. For example, if I come running down the street and knock you over, it's not because I wanted to make you go flying or see the groceries you were carrying go everywhere. More likely, it was an accident. I wasn't paying enough attention and you got hurt. When it comes to estrangement, this analogy changes. If I come running down the street and knock you over, it's probably because my pants are on fire. Literally, I'm on fire and I'm racing to the local swimming hole to put myself out. When we're on fire, whether literally or figuratively, we don't have the resources to protect other people's feelings. We're too busy focusing on our own survival. Which brings me to my personal take on Hanlon's razor. Never attribute to malice that which can adequately be explained by either thoughtlessness or self-preservation. Or both. Estrangement from family is an act of self-preservation. We know this from every study that's been done with people willingly estranged from family. The number of people who are on record as distancing themselves specifically in order to hurt someone is 0. If your child is trying to teach you a lesson by not talking to you, That's not estrangement. It is the silent treatment. Just a quick aside. The silent treatment is a temporary measure that people employ when they're annoyed and they have no idea how to express that appropriately. It's designed to create a temporary timeout, and it may very well be used to actually punish someone so they don't do whatever it is again. Unlike estrangement, however, it's understood that once the silent treatment has had its effect, the relationship will resume. Estrangement is much more open-ended, and it's always a matter of self-preservation, not punishment. So that's the end of my aside about the silent treatment. The point is, everybody who's asked about voluntary estrangement says self-protection is the reason. They're really not interested in punishing anyone or hurting anyone. They just want to remove themselves from the situation. And they don't have the bandwidth to be careful with the feelings of those they're distancing from. They're just too busy staying safe and taking care of their own needs. I think Hanlon's razor is a very important model to apply when you're thinking about your child's estrangement or anybody else's behavior that seems mean or hurtful. You and I could probably come up with lots of examples where this applies in daily life. Have you ever sent a greeting card or a gift basket to a group of people and forgotten to name one person in the card? I have. It's an easy mistake to make, but it's not malicious. Without applying Hanlon's razor, the person you forgot to name might take it as an insult, when really you simply forgot. Have you ever stayed home from a party because you just weren't up to going? Well, without applying Hanlon's razor, the host of that party might take your absence as a personal slight, when really all you were doing was taking care of yourself by staying home. During this estrangement, don't suffer any more pain than is absolutely necessary. The next time you ask, "How can my child treat me this way?" remember Hanlon's razor. There's never any need to make unflattering and probably inaccurate assumptions about your child's motivations. Until next time, remember that you are a loving, lovable, and still growing human being. So please take good care of yourself. Bye for now. If you've enjoyed this episode of the Reconnection Club podcast, I invite you to check out reconnectionclub.com. The Reconnection Club is for parents at any stage of estrangement from their adult, child, or children. So whether you've just realized there's trouble between you, you've been living with estrangement for years, or you're newly reconciled but still walking on eggshells, the Reconnection Club is your essential resource for information, support, and continued personal growth. With our courses and workshops, expert interviews, monthly Q&A calls, and a friendly, active community, the Reconnection Club is a wonderful place to be for anyone suffering the pain of estrangement from an adult, child, or children. So check it out at reconnectionclub.com.